There is a guy called Sean Casey in the fitness industry. Now, you may not have seen him because this video is on YouTube, but if you're on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, you will definitely know the face. Sean is too humble to brag about it, but he is a multi-millionaire at the age of 24. I think he would have hit that accolade maybe even at 23 or 22. He runs several successful businesses, from recipe books, an online training app called Glean, and even a business very similar to mine, helping coaches grow their social media platforms. And he is a very, very impressive person. I know Sean personally, as a peer and even a friend. And in this video today, I'm going to reveal some of the tactics you may not have noticed that he uses to not only grow his business to massive heights, but to have one of the strongest personal brands, not only within the fitness industry, but within the entrepreneurial space as a whole. And the best part is, this video isn't just about sucking his dick. I'm also going to interject some footage of some things that we constructively disagree on so that you are armed with both sides of the argument to decide which one you feel is closer aligned to you and your values, because ultimately our stance on business is going to be influenced by our own journey. Sean boasts millions of followers across social media, so what I'm going to do now is go into a bit of a deep dive into why exactly he doesn't just get millions of views, but has some of the most engaging content our industry has ever seen. So let's get into it. So for quite a while now, I've been using Sean as an example within my business mentorship. When it comes to hooks, setups, payoffs, this guy is truly a master. And the crazy thing is, I think he's 24. I was 24 when I became a personal trainer. So we're going to analyze some of the things that Sean does right that you can also imitate too, even if you're not a personal trainer. And yes, I need to put glasses on because I'm old. I'm not 24 anymore. I'm 35. First of all, if we start at the top, Sean Casey Fitness. I'm sure if Sean Casey was available, he'd take it. Name, online coach. And here I really like that this is really simple recipes and fitness tips. Now, one of the things that we should really attribute to Sean here is the genius behind having the dichotomy between food and fitness, because fitness content isn't always the sexiest. You got to remember everyone eats. So interjecting the odd recipe can really do amazing things for views, engagements, a lot. Owner of Social Circle, Sean actually operates a similar business to mine in the sense that he helps people build and grow their social media followings. We're semi-aligned on a lot of things, and we actually disagree on a few things. Later in this video, I'm going to actually share long-form footage of that. Sean has done what every personal trainer wants to do, and he has diverse to create a fitness app where he can bring in coaches underneath him, and in essence, step back to just marketing the business, which is what I do with my affordable online coaching platform, and what most top fitness businesses eventually have to do. And Sean won't mind me saying this, but he made millions from his recipe books. However, before we get into the content, let's just quickly understand this. I'm a big believer that it wasn't just Sean's recipes that got him so many purchases. I think he accrued a lot of goodwill over a long period of time. I can see here 1,300 posts, but each one of these posts is very strategic. I'll explain why. Sean's ability to present hooks is top level in the game.
Here's how much sugar is in this one tiny chocolate bar.
So like even with just that initial, this is how much sugar is in a chocolate bar, it leaves us wanting to know, okay, where's he going with this?
Seeing this in front of your face might be making you really rethink your decision to eat chocolate bars like this because of the amount of sugar they contain.
And that's a fair point. We get to this point where I'm like, you know what? That does look like a lot of sugar. I wouldn't eat that much sugar in front of me. So why would I eat the chocolate bar?
Let me show you another example. Let's just move this over here. Feel like I'm back at uni.
Again, we've got this self-deprecating banter that alludes to the fact that earlier on in life he had a drug problem or that he did too much cocaine. He's very much humanizing himself here, which is a fantastic way to put content across. Also now, if this is the first video you've ever seen, you start to think, wow, this guy's actually quite real. Someone who was trying to come across as perfect would not have said that.
Perfect. This is 2 apples, and I think we'll all agree that the apples are going to be a much more nutrient-dense choice than the chocolate bar.
Of course, given.
This is the amount of sugar in 2 apples. It's worth noting as well that the 2 apples combined have less calories than the chocolate bar, but still more sugar. So the apple is actually a more sugar-dense food than the chocolate bar.
So this is what I would call an aha moment. And this is really what you want to try and give people across content. If you can give people these, aha, oh wow, I never knew that. Oh, do you know, it sounds crazy. Someone's life is never going to be the same after this video. And that's one of the most powerful things that you can put into content. I remember maybe 15 years ago seeing a reel by a guy called Phil, and it said an RDL doesn't need to touch the floor. And I was like, wow, I'd never got lower back pain ever again from RDLs from one video. You have the opportunity to change someone's life for the better with every single post.
And just to make this a fair comparison, we will rack them into similar shapes. Perfect. Now, what is the purpose of this video? Is it?
Another thing here is to look at the setup. We've got nice front lighting, but you can see to the side of Sean's face, he's getting a little bit more natural lighting to the side, which is great. This is called like Rembrandt lighting, which makes it look good. We've got a nice depth in the background. It looks like a family home. It's nice. It's pleasant to look at.
If you're a woman on a weight loss journey, this is potentially the most important video you'll ever watch because
if you're a woman on a weight loss journey, 50% of the population are women, and probably about 90% of them are on a weight loss journey. Sean just spoke to over 3 billion people. Okay, another thing Sean's been a master at, and I'll admit I've been learning this from him, his ability to put together good carousel posts. And he usually goes back in time, talks about a previous time. He can create amazing story arcs. We have story arcs through good content where you have hook set up, you know, some kind of story and a payoff at the end. But you can actually do these in carousels as well. And you can reach out to people that maybe aren't in the mindset to watch a video. And I guarantee you, as we get towards the end, you know, feel good picture. Wow, love this.
you can eat chocolate and lose weight. You can
Statement hook. You can eat chocolate and lose weight. The dream. I'm watching.
eating a 300 calorie chocolate bar and then burning 300 calories directly after. This is usually the part of the video where you expect me to be out running with my top off, keeping track of how many calories I'm burning, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not a clampet. Instead,
Very deadpan. Sean should be an inspiration to a lot of people that maybe don't have massive extroverted characters, because he can do so well with
if you add a large amount of salt to your meal, you will gain weight the next day, even if you're in a calorie deficit.
You can tell that this has probably been born from the fact that Sean has seen someone somewhere talk about salt and weight gain. So he's then taken a talking point that someone talks about and turned it into a hook. Sean also uses
As a full-time personal trainer and fitness professional,
just catching the egg, just gives like a little bit of pattern interrupt. This is where things get interesting. So we're about to go into a food reel, but what I want you to realize is, I'll tell you in a sec.
it's worth of air fried lunches in under 10 minutes. That is beautiful. Literally 10 out of 10. Gentle. There's a few things in life that I can't.
This is the beginning of the video. It may seem that that part was the beginning of the video, but actually Sean filmed the entire video, cooked everything, prepped everything. Then at the end of the video, he recorded the introduction because he has the food, and he filmed the introduction so that we can get the hook being a visual hook with the finished outcome, which is what I'd call a preview hook.
Here's how I meal prep a week.
He's filmed the whole thing, then at the end, this is how I meal prep a week's worth of food. So it's a great thing to do as well. So like a preview hook could be like a trailer to a film. Preview hook can be like in vlogs when something's happening. There's a trend at the moment where you kind of use a preview hook where you talk about subtle foreshadowing, I think it's called.
It's worth of air fried lunches in under 10 minutes.
So then we've got this time restrictive thing. Wow, air fried lunches under 10 minutes. That sounds amazing, because lunches to me is something that is laborsome and requires a lot of effort. And, you know, wow, that looks good. Wow.
That is beautiful. Literally 10 out of 10.
And then you see him enjoying it, which is kind of enjoyable. If you're part of the 2 million people that follow Sean, you want to see him having a good time. Then this bit is genius.
Gentle. There's a few things in life.
Sharing a bit with his dog. He's a nice guy. This guy is, you know, he's generous. He's a generous king. All right, let's go a little bit further down. The boys. So Sean and I are friends, and it's quite funny. I mentioned him once in a hook, and he uses that video now to get views. I'll say one thing as well. I have been incredibly impressed by Sean, and the footage of us having a debate, the maturity that this guy has, being 24, is crazy. Like, it's genuinely crazy how someone can have so much intelligence at that age. I joke about him being autistic, but I don't think I've given him credit enough to his face, but he'll be watching this. He'll be watching this. He's a very impressive guy. And although we have similar businesses, I don't think I could ever honestly sit and go objectively what I do is better than him, whether it's fitness, whether it's coaching, whether it's whatever, because he's just very, very good at things. And here's the best part. Sean openly has admitted being inspired and learning from me. But now, even as someone 10 years ahead of him, 11 years ahead of him, I continue to learn from him as well. And this is really, you know, what it takes. You've got to be open to learning from people. You've got to admire them. And there have been times that I've seen Sean do better than me. He's got more followers than me on Instagram. But rather than feeling bitter about that, I feel inspired by it. And I'll take you on a little B story here, which is again part of the story arc. So here we've got Darren, one of my best mates. We've got Sean. This guy here, Adam Sullivan. It's called evidence-based training. This guy in Australia started crushing it. I'm talking millions a month. I think this guy at one point made £200,000 in a week. He's got the Lambos, got everything. I blocked this guy. And that wasn't because of him, that was because of me. And although it's very easy for me to be inspired by people I see online, for some reason with Adam, I didn't feel inspired, I felt bitter. And I unblocked him in April, and we're now very good friends. I said to him, hey mate, do you know, just for me, I think I had exhausted the part of my brain that was getting motivated and inspired by people. But yeah, I've actually learned so much from these people, my peers. Sean, his hooks, the ability he does all of his content with an iPhone, the fact he still lives at home with his parents, which is such a tactical play. I love that. He loves his family as well, but that plays into the brand. When he moves into a mansion, which he will, he's going to rub a few people the wrong way. Some of those middle-aged women that follow him, they're no longer going to be able to relate to him quite so much, but he's going to be fine. Diran, although he can be a fucking moron in so many areas of his life, he's got one of the best emotional intelligence. This guy should have been a Turkish spy. Let's just say that. Adam, again, I'll openly admit this, is crazy. When I have business discussions with my peers, no matter what angle I take Adam's the wealthiest out of all of us. No matter what angle I take to understand Adam's business brain, it is so client-centric. You can ask him anything about business and it always comes back to his client's results. And don't get me wrong, the rest of us really care about our client results and business, everything like that. But Adam is obsessed about it and he has seen the fruition from it. But back to Sean. Let's find some outlier reels. 1 million, 6 million, 1 million, 1 million. It's just such good reach. Videos like this really are impactful. 9 million views.
Air fried pepperoni pizza. This is one of the simplest meal ideas I've ever posted and it tasted incredible. All you're going to do is get 2 mini wraps, a bit of pizza sauce and light cheese on each, and then fire one.
Again, it's not even fitness content. It's just content. Look at those 7 million.
Out of every slow cooker recipe I've ever posted, these honey garlic chicken noodles are definitely the people's.
So what's really clever here to think about is where I said before that everyone eats. Sean can layer fitness content, fitness content, fitness content. Then he can create a whirlwind of interaction by putting a food reel there, because then people come for the food, they stay for the fitness. That's something that I probably regret. Probably regret going to war with Joe Wicks so much back in the day because I'm a personal trainer, I'm not a chef. And now because of it, I've absolutely axed an avenue to get millions of views on my content. Now here's something as well, which is incredibly difficult for any creator to do. Sean is incredibly likable. I think for someone with 2 million followers, he must have the least amount of haters ever. Whereas I definitely grew my audience polarizing people and sometimes just being a cock. I don't think there are many people that could honestly say this guy's a dickhead.
Honey garlic chicken tenders made in the air fryer.
Air fryer. Now, an important thing here that I want everyone to take away is, if you want to know Sean's superpower, on top of good hooks, on top of being likable, on top of being young, on top of being family orientated, on top of being a dog lover, on top of having that amazing Irish accent, if you want to know what else he is at editing, pacing, setups, payoffs, the thing Sean really has mastered is the ability to accrue goodwill. He tenaciously turns up every day to just try and deliver as much helpful content as he can, very rarely asking for things in return, so that when his carousel posts do come up with call to actions, people respond. And it's been a pleasure to watch him grow, and I'm very interested to see how his business and brand is going to morph over time. All right, that's enough of the deep dive. So there's a look into some of Sean Casey's social media tactics that I see from the outside, and I'm sure there's even more going on under the surface than I even know about. What I want to do now is take you to the International Fitness Summit earlier this year in Ibiza, where Sean and I have a discussion over whether or not you should ask for followers or whether or not you should be doing sales calls. There's a lot of value over the next few clips, so I hope you enjoy it. So what I was keen to do today is pick Sean's brain, have a bit of an open discussion and see whether or not that would benefit a lot of you guys. First question I have for you, what's the biggest mistake that you think that not just content creators, but maybe some of the people in this room are making right now with their social media strategy?
Probably overanalyzing and putting too much stress on the perfect piece of content. It doesn't have to be perfect at the start. See, when you do anything, even when I public speak, it's not going to be great. I'm not great at it, but the only way that you get better at it is by consistently doing it. See, I'm genuinely not great at public speaking. However, I wasn't great at content at the start. I would say I'm at a stage now where I'm semi-decent at content. The only way that you get better is through reps. So you're not looking for perfection at the start. Just show up.
And you have a very good content style where you're quite comfortable, and people can really see that. And you have to do hundreds of pieces of content to get that comfort. And it's almost like an attractive force field when someone is just in their flow state, which we can all see in your content. What would you say is your main source of ideation when you're coming up? Because it does get difficult, I'm sure everyone in here knows. The hardest part is the idea, right?
It's not so much what you're talking about, it's the way in which you're talking about it. Everyone's talking about the same things. You're probably going to notice that on stage today, everyone is saying similar things. A lot of it comes down to just doing it. So my content creation and I have a notes on my phone, so I can't just think of content ideas. They come to me at the most random times. So I'll be about to fall asleep. It's like 2 a.m. An idea comes to me. I wake up, write it down. So when I'm going to create a bit of content, I go to the notes on my iPhone and I just get it from there. But it's not about the topic, it's about the way in which you present that topic, and I think that's what I want people to lean into, because there's no magical secrets. We'll give you some advice and stuff that you can use, but it's a lot of it is about the way in which you present this information.
Yeah, I would say that I get most of my good ideas in the shower. Like my missus will come in and I'm like hanging out the shower, soaking the floor, just there, like trying, fuck, I've just had a good idea for a squeeze page or something like that. I was keen to actually see if there were any things that we disagree on, and there's one thing in particular that we do, and I want to hash it out. Why is it that you think it's important that you ask people to follow you?
Because it works. So how many times have you posted on social media? You have much more views than me and much more collective views, but how many collective followers?
Yeah, but this is where the problem comes into, right? I think that one of the biggest trends that I've seen recently, and I've been guilty of this, is collating and growing a subprime audience. Where one thing we've seen from Adam Sullivan is someone who has a much significantly smaller following than both of us has got twice as many Lambos as we do. So like, is
that how we're rating it? How many Lambos?
It's like vanity metrics, right? And although it looks good, there's no point being a priest with a 14-inch cock. So like, one thing, you know what I mean? And I've been guilty for this, and I learned this on YouTube the most, right? Where I was actually just trying to be famous on YouTube. I had a bit of chip on my shoulder that I was late to the game, and then I realized that I'd actually tried to grow an audience of, bellends. And so my belief is that if you make great content and people see it and they want to subscribe to it, they will find their own way there.
But I think you can more accurate, I want people consistently seeing my content. There's people that I really enjoy their content. I'll see them on my page and I won't follow them. I'll have to see their content 5, 6, 7 times and then I'll follow them. Whereas if I ask someone to follow me, they'll follow on the first time if they enjoy the content. Whereas there's a melty way to do it and a non-melty way to do it. If you go, here's 3 fat loss tips. By the way, if you enjoy this, drop me a follow. People are like, fucking hell. Whereas if you subtly drop it in, take the sting out of it, oftentimes I'll put a bit of dry humor, so I'll make a video about bread. I'll be like, if you want more bread-related content, hit the follow, I'll see you tomorrow. It's natural, it's flowy. Whereas if it's unnatural and it's stingy, people scroll past it. You don't want to sound like every other personal trainer. So I think that there's a right and a wrong way to do a CTA, but there's videos where I've got 300,000 followers from one video, and especially when I'm selling ebooks and stuff like that, if that's a recipe book video, it's helping my business. So I don't think that you grow an audience of cunts, as you say, through asking for a follow or not. Same thing, yeah. I think it's about the type of content that you post. So I really like my audience. I've got a massive audience, but they're nothing but positive. They're my audience is great. So I don't think that the differentiating factor of your audience is whether or not you've asked for the follow. And it works. If you look at the results from Social Circle and that,
I would say there's 2 people that I can see do it well. You and Steve Kraft, right? You're the only people that I see where it seems natural. And I've seen so many people try and mimic it and completely ruin their content. Because when we look at the story arc of starting a piece of content, we have hook, set up, we might have a B story, we might have some kind of element to it, and then we've got a wrap-up, call to action, whatever. But so many people are murdering their introductions to their videos by trying to get that end product of a follow, like you said before.
You never want to ask for a follow before you've given some sort of value. So if you can take the sting out of it, make it natural, give something to your audience before you ask them for something. See if you give the call to action straight after the hook, people are going to be put off that completely.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing that I just don't like the look of is looking beggy. I even like some of the best YouTube creators, some people do, oh yeah, like and subscribe, and you're like, I just don't really like that energy, don't really like that vibe. And again, this isn't to say that you're wrong or right, and like you say, too many people are speaking absolutes. They say, you must do this to get this outcome, you must do this, but I think there's actually an element to that where it probably boils down to the content style of the person doing it. But I would say that in your early stages of content, the best way I can talk about it is accruing goodwill. So what you've done for years on end now, and what a lot of people in the room probably need to do, is when you start posting content, probably to the first 1,000 posts, you're trying to build up a wall of goodwill with your audience. So many people now have got 500 followers, and they straight away got call to actions. DM me the word coach, and I'll send you a free program. And you're asking something from the audience before accruing too much of that kind of goodwill energy from them. And the same
people want a lot straight away. They see what we have and they're like, oh, I want the followers, I want the business. But I showed up every single day posting 8 months. I didn't even have a business. I was just trying to post videos to help people. So the main intention of posting on social media should be to help people, and the business and that is a byproduct. Whereas if you're just doing it because you want money or you want followers, the money and the followers and everything that I have is a byproduct of trying to help people. Obviously, we use strategy, we use hooks, we use CTAs, all of that. But the primary focus should be just helping people, and all of that comes off the back of it.
Another question I kind of know the answer to, but I'd be quite interested in people to hear. You're very young, made a lot of money very young, and you could move out, you could move into a nice house, but you still live at home with your parents. Outside of loving your family and wanting to spend time with them, is this a tactic as far as optics for you, your brand, and your business to remain at home?
My mum makes my bed, I like she does a lot for me, and I enjoy living at home. I feel like I'm at a stage where I could move out, I could travel the world, but I went to Australia, I went on my own at the start. I was quite lonely actually when I first went until I met people, so I could buy a house and do all that stuff now, but I love my family, I love my dogs, I like living at home. It's on brand for what people expect from me too. So at 24 years old, I don't need to move out. Just because you can do something and I could do it, it might help with social circle sales if I'm like, oh, I bought my own house, I've done this, but it boils, I don't want to at the minute.
Another thing that I feel is a popular topic for people at the moment is to do with brand. Now, my position, whenever I come across a coach that I work with, so many people try and hide behind a business. My first business was called JS Training. Right? I was like, oh, I need to have a coaching business, and I need to have a picture that represents training. It must have a dumbbell in it. And then the further I moved away from it, I was like, I'm not JS Training. I'm not Active Health PT. I'm not, Move Your Body, whatever it is. I'm James Smith, in the same way that you're Sean Casey, and the same way that Alex Hormozy isn't acquisition.com or school.com. He's Alex Hormozy. When it comes to establishing like personal brand with the people that you work with, do you tell people to have a business that they are part of or that they represent, or are you trying to push people to become their own brands?
No, because if you build a personal brand, you can do literally anything off that. I started off, built my personal brand, and then I've done one-on-one coaching, I've done group coaching, I've done the app, I've done ebooks, I've done social circle, I do talks. So personal brand is the most valuable thing that you can build. So I think more people should focus on building their personal brand and allow the business success to come off the back of that, as opposed to I need to make, there's things you can do in the short term. I could do a load of high pressure sales calls if I was just starting off without a massive following and make 5K a month and then make 10K a month. But if I'm just doing that, it's not actually sustainable in the long term. It's not something that I enjoy doing. So I just built my personal brand, and then monetization come off the back of that naturally.
So there's some things I actually don't know your stance on, which again, you've got Social Circle, I've got my mentorship. When it comes to people in the room that think, okay, they might have some stagnation in their list, or they might want to push people down their sales funnel closer to the sale, are you someone that's pro to getting people to do sales calls?
Yeah, so this is something that I would actually disagree with you on. I think I hate sales calls, really don't enjoy them at all. But say at the start, if you've got a few thousand followers, you're getting 1 or 2 leads per week, you're not going to make money through email marketing. So how many emails did you send before you made a sale?
That was about 10 months worth of emails.
Yeah, so if you had done 1 or 2 sales calls, you would have made a sale in the first couple of weeks. Probably.
It was probably more so that I was trying to sell a PDF. It was called the Final Fat Loss Guide. I tried giving it away for free, and still no one wanted it. I tried using it. Imagine this, right? I was
should have pulled the plug then.
I know. So imagine that this is where you think you know what people want. I was like, look, here's a PDF, right? I'm going to sell it for £20. In it has the ins and outs of macronutrient splits, calorie deficit. Someone reads this, their life's going to be different forever. One guy bought it, Mahendra. I still remember his name. Mahendra Patel. Sometimes I feel like emailing him and just saying, thank you. So then when no one bought it, I was like, let's put this asset to use, brother, right? I said, hey, give me your email address. I'll send it to you for free. No emails. But actually what happened was, the 10th month of emails, it wasn't so much the list growth, it was my offering was wrong. So I sent an email going, oh, I'm fucking off to Australia. Anyone want me to just do your programs £50 a week? Got 12 clients. I was like, hold on. So you're willing to give me £50 a week, that's fine, but £20 for a PDF, you're not interested. So for me, it was that. My problem is that a lot of people out there aren't putting enough output out with content as it is. They're looking for excuses to not do it. And you sit on a 40-minute sales call for someone to at the end go, let me talk to my partner about it. To me, that 40 minutes could have been used creating socials, could have been used to work through the funnel. And actually, I think that...
I would say it doesn't have to be an either or, and I would say it's every single personal trainer that comes to me at the start of their journey, I'm like, create content, set time aside to create content, get quality content, get people to fill out your form, which You don't really like forms either.
Because there's a lot of snakes, right? People go, so how much weight do you want to lose? 6 kilograms. And what would be the implications of if you did accomplish that? How would that make you feel? But now tell me, how would that make you feel if you didn't accomplish that? So then you go, yeah, it's £900 for coaching. They go, oh, it's a bit expensive. And then they go, hold on, Trish, but I thought you said you wanted to lose 6 kilograms for your wedding, or you were going to feel very insecure and you feel like...
I absolutely hate that. But I think on a form, if you ask for someone's name, ask for their goals, say how long you work with people, and give an indication of your price. So when they're hopping on a sales call, they know how much you're going to charge. Put your price per day or per week so it sounds more manageable. But 100%, I had to do sales calls at the start to get clients until my following grew. If you have a following, like if you got the following that we have, I'm not doing sales calls. I don't even hire someone to do my sales calls.
I don't even do phone calls.
I don't like
my dad
the
calls
idea
me,
of
I'm
them,
like, nah.
But I think ethical sales calls, if they're actually a sales call to see if someone would be a good fit, as opposed to let's hop on and see if you'd be a good fit, but no matter what, I'm going to try and squeeze you for 997 here. Don't agree with that, but they're two different things. If you're a PT at the start of your journey, highly recommend learning how to do sales calls. However, once you build a bit of a following, your content starts doing well, which you should be doing at the same time as sales calls at the start. Then you can transition into other strategies like automations and email marketing. But I think the biggest return on investment for time spent in terms of acquiring clients at the start will 100% be through sales calls.
See, for me, I would rather that someone through the flow would say, hey, here's how much it is. This is what you get. This is why you need it. This is what to expect. Then for that, if you wanted to have phone number, contact, email, if they wanted to do a casual call or whatever, fine. That could be maybe your part B. If you want more information, book in a call, whatever. But if you tell everyone what it is they're going to get and then you offer them a money-back guarantee, that call could be done as an onboarding process after the money's in the bank account. So let's say you charge, I don't know, £55 a week as a coach. Someone goes, oh, can we get on a call? I would say, why don't you join as part of our onboarding process when I'm talking to you about your programs, your goals, what you want, blah, 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 what it is, just to let you know for the first month of the time working with me, you have a money-back guarantee. So that you are getting paid for that call to talk to them as a customer, not trying to sell to them, because you should have that sales process as something, even as someone with a small account, because even if someone's only got 150 followers, you should be giving off the aura that you're a fully packed out, high-functioning, high-agency coach who's got 10 high-paying clients. Because when I started out, I just wanted 10 clients, not even 15. And I want them to see me 3 times a week because to me, managing 10 people's admin was way easier than doing 30 people's admin. They just saw me more frequently and they would have had more money. So what I don't want is to gaslight myself into thinking, oh, I've only got 150 followers, so therefore I should be, I'll jump on sales calls. And also when people look into your diary, right, they go on Calendly and they see a fucking open diary. Oh, you can talk to me at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This guy's fucking empty. And if he's empty, he's shit. The same way that if I walk past a restaurant, even if I like the menu, if there's no one in there, I'm not going in. I'm like, that place is going to give me food poisoning. So I think that even as coaches with smaller followings, they should be giving off the aura that they are busy. Oh, can we do a sales call? No, I'm too busy working with my clients. Here's the prices. If you want to join, here it is. Just to let you know, there is a 28-day no-qualm money-back guarantee. If you don't love it at any point and think it's worth 5 times what I'm charging, I'll give you money back.
Yeah, I completely see the logic in that, but when we break it down to the actual, this is how it works, if you took 20 people and booked 20 sales calls, and then you took 20 people that went onto your landing page or seen your money-back guarantee, you're going to get more returns off that. However, if you're getting enough people that will look on your landing page that will take you up on that offer, definitely do them. But if you're struggling to get clients and you're sending out emails, you're doing landing pages, you're doing all that, and you're still not getting clients, then you need to look into booking calls. So I do what you do now. I don't do sales calls, and I think if it works, it's much more enjoyable. No one likes doing sales calls. They're a bit shit crack. However, I think that they're a necessary evil at the start.
I think I'm kind of cursed because I used to work in a call center and I used to do door-to-door sales. So I'm tired. I was tired at 24. When I was your age, I'd already done thousands. I had to do 100 phone calls a day. It's not fun. So for me now, even my dad tries calling me. I'm like, nah, mate. Nah, just send me a message. He's like, son, I'm driving. I'm like, well, message me when you get there. I'm not doing it. I hate it. But for me, I suppose, I really don't like, walking the floor was horrible, right? Go up to someone like, hey, mate, I was just watching you do that. Can I just give you a little bit? Fuck off. Cheers, mate. You have a good day. I faced so much rejection, right? If I think about it, right? One bad comment can ruin my day. So I try not to look, right? Or I nibble. I fucking love a nibble sometimes. I'm like, well, I went on your LinkedIn. Looks like your job at fucking Serco didn't go well, you little... Haha, unemployed, looking for a new role. Nice one, brother. So, what? So like for me, it would have been probably the implications of a bad sales call could ruin my day. So let's say I nail a sales call. I'm on it and I'm like, Trish is signing up, brother. And she goes, sorry, I just can't afford it. My mind goes, it's never really they can't afford it. She doesn't see the value in it. Why doesn't she see the value? And then suddenly my day's ruined. And then when I'm on camera, I'm not myself. For me, I just don't want anything in my day that could potentially put a negative spin on it. And for me, I think a sales call could be that thing.
Yeah, 100%. But I think if you're someone at the start of your journey going into the sales calls without the expectation, it would be a complete waste of your time to do sales calls. But anyone wants my advice is definitely do the sales calls. But as I said before, don't go into the sales calls thinking that you need to convert the person. Go into the sales call thinking, is this person actually going to be a good fit? Will they work with me? If you're a strict bodybuilding coach that's doing photo shoot prep and Sharon from down the road comes to you and she's just looking help with a relationship with food, coming off some, like, might not be the best fit for you, and then just telling her that, directing her on to someone else. But I think sales calls should be used more as a seeing if this person, it should be ethical. Everything that you do should be ethical. But I think a lot of people is just sales call, sales call, sales call. Are we going to convert? Did you convert or did you not? That's always the question. Did you convert that sales call? Not was that person actually a good fit when they jumped on the call with you? At the start, when you're trying to get clients and you jump in the sales calls with people, it might be like, I need to convert this person. I need to make money. But put off that short term trying to make money just to work with people that you actually enjoy working with. You're going to enjoy running your business much more. It's going to be more ethical, and I just think it's a better way to do things. Everything that I do, no matter how much money or followers, it's just about doing the right thing and just trying to help people without any sleazy tactics. I never learned, like, I recommend sales calls, but I never learned sales. I never learned how to pressure someone. I just learned how to have conversations, make people feel at ease, figure out if they're a good fit, and then go from there. So it doesn't have to be complex. I don't think that we should be spending a lot of our time learning about sales and trying to lean heavily into that. I think that we should just learn briefly what we need to know, but then just focus on being good people, trying to help people. And proof that it can work. You don't have to use all these different strategies. I've never sent a cold DM. I've never pressured someone into buying something off me that doesn't genuinely want to. So I think that there's a right way to do it, and you can be extremely successful doing it the right way. So I see where James is coming from in terms of the way in which people go about sales calls and forms, but I think if we're doing them right, they can be extremely good. But if it's sales call, no matter what you're doing, it's always about doing it right and putting the client first, genuinely trying to help people.
I always think that, because you're 23 now, right?
24.
Okay. Made your first million at 22?
23, I think. I wasn't really keeping track. Just happened.
What was that like? Was it difficult at all? I mean, for me, I'm almost kind of glad that I was 27, maybe 28 before I ever had a big pay slip, because I'm worried that I would just snort it all and maybe, go somewhere and just have 100 prostitutes. Just joking. But like, for you, has that been like a personal struggle?
No, well, I took all my drugs in uni, so I got that out of my system.
For you, would you say there's any barriers? Do you worry about like, remaining motivated, staying on top of things? Do you ever worry that like you might, is there any personal struggle to do with success? Because success isn't just a linear positive.
I as I said, money is a byproduct of what I do, so I would be doing this anyway. When I first started posting content, do you remember I emailed you when I posted my first video, and I was like, yo, you inspired me to do this, but I wanted 30 clients paying me X amount per month. I wanted to make 30 grand a year to match what I would get from a graduate job. So that was my ultimate goal. If that took me a year, if that got me 2 years, I'd be like, I'm willing to work for this. I didn't get into PTing to make millions. I got into it to do something that I love, and if I could match the wage. So I'd done that, and then I continued to make more. But for me, I'm not that materialistic. I don't have this like, oh, I need to make money because I want to go and do like fly on a private jet like you done and stuff like. Maybe I will do that. I'm not slagging you. I'm just saying.
Look, British Airways were charging an extortionate amount. It was either the money was going to BA, and I mean.
But for me, money has given me a position to buy people in my family cars, pay off the mortgage, retire the mum. I enjoy doing stuff like that. It feels good to me because that's stuff that I can naturally do. I'm like, I have the money there. It wasn't my goal to retire mum or give all this money to charity to do that, but I was like, I have it there, I may as well do it. So that feels good to me. That motivates me to make more money because of the ability what it gives me the ability to do. I think money can make or break you, and it's definitely been an overall positive, but I don't lose motivation no matter how much money I make, because money isn't the main motivation, it's the byproduct. And then once I see what I can do with it, that's what makes me happy in that way, spending it.
If you're someone that isn't following Sean Casey, I would highly recommend it. Even if you're not into his recipes or you're not looking for a personal trainer, just to observe from the sideline. Like, I used to get a lot of stick for following Andrew Tate. I was like, you need to unfollow him. But as a marketer, whether you like someone or not, you probably follow them just to see what tactics they use for growth, for polarization, for growing their email list. Because as I mentioned before, there can be a very fine line between hating someone and being inspired from them. So I hope this video was an eye-opener to some of the things that Sean uses and some of the things that you can implement into your own business and brand to grow it to the next level. As per usual, YouTube is a pretty smart bugger, and it's probably going to give you a video right here that it recommends from my channel that you watch. And YouTube isn't often that wrong, so I hope you enjoyed that as well. Thank you very much for watching.